Hey y'all, this is Allison hanging out in my space to craft, and I'm bringing you a layout process. This is one of the page kits I put together, and it's a Christmas related page, so I'm using this. All these papers are all from the same paper pack. Before I started filming, I cut some bows using some die cuts because I know I want to turn some things into presents. So I'm going to make a shaker box here. So I have a red square, and then I made a frame using two nested dies, and then the bottom piece is the outer nested die. I've pulled out some acetate, and I'm just going to hand cut that. I find that sometimes you can use a die cut on acetate, but sometimes that wrinkles it. So scissors are really usually the best option, and then just hand trimming, unless it's a really complicated shape, and then you can just die cut it. But a square is simple. So the first step is to, and I messed this up, this is not the first step. You are not supposed to put the foam adhesive first. You are supposed to put the acetate first. So I wasn't thinking straight. So first step is you take your top frame, and then you glue your acetate to it. I do use wet glue sometimes, but you need to be careful not to use much wet glue because it will smear and smudge onto that acetate. So just be cautious about that. I use our glitter glue. It doesn't take much glue at all, and so I find that to be a really good option. Then I put the foam, the adhesive foam, and this is, I think it's 2 mil foam strips. The key here is to make sure that you don't have any openings in it, so that your corners, any seams between foam are well sealed. And I'm just double checking the fit. And the way I do it is, you can do it one of two ways. You can put the sprinkles or whatever you're using in the frame and then put the back on top of the frame. Or as I'm doing here, I'm putting them onto the back. And I'm just selecting, I'm leaving off a couple of things. I think I'm going to take out I might take out the big sequins, I'm not sure. But that gives you a better feel for, what it's going to look like, how full it's going to be, and then you put it down. Now, I will say, make sure that it seals well before you start shaking it. Otherwise, your sequins can get stuck under the adhesive. And I make that mistake in the next video when I make a shaker for a card. So I have a few little struggles there because I didn't seal it down really well before I lifted it and let things shift around. So this is a little present. I really like this idea, this concept for this page. And I'm going to I decided on a 1/3, 2/3. So I'm cutting this at 4 inches. And I'm going to end up cutting a strip of this bottom paper off just because I don't know, frugal maybe? I just really like this back paper. It's so pretty. So I didn't want to waste, so I cut that at 3 inches, so I have a good 1 inch still overlap between the two papers. It's easy to Frankenstein this together using this Creative Memories mat because it's measured at 12 by 12. I know Close to My Art had one. I'm sure Stampin' Up has one. a lot of mats will have this, so I just use that as a guide. Your other option is to put it on like a thin piece of old scrapbook paper or something like that. And then I take that border that I had, because I do like some kind of transition between the two papers. And even though this is from a different paper pad, it works. The colors work. I think it looks good together. So the photos for this I printed in two different sizes. So one is a 3x4, and then I have two 3x2s. But I added a border, so they're a little bit smaller than pure 2x3. And I'm just doing that. I have the picture of her and her boyfriend, and then her opening it with his gifts in front of them, and then her opening a couple of gifts as the smaller photos. And I think that works well. So I had pulled out some green scraps, and those are going to be perfect for matting this. And I will end up double matting those pictures. Really kind of it's triple matte if you include the white border. So just a heads up, my phone memory got full, and I did not capture all of the process of this video, but when I realized it, I just went through and described what I had done with the video. So, and it's mostly the embellishing that you don't get to see as well. So I really do like, this is a red shimmer paper. It's from Sizzix. I bought a Christmas pack, so it had green and white and red. Some of them glitter, some of them this shimmer. It's a really neat pack. So I'm just going to trim these up, and I do want them separate because I want to be able to not have them perfectly aligned. So just playing with the placement. This is why I use repositionable adhesive, because my eye is not always perfect the first time, or my eye is good, my cutting is not perfect every time. So we're getting close to when my phone just decides to stop. So you'll get to see the layout, and there's some bows. I'm going to make some more presents, and I'm going to work on a title. So this I'm cutting down so it's not quite so big, and I figure she can journal on this, maybe just list the gifts that she got for Christmas. So that's going to be a big part of the page, and then I'm going to trim this out and then decide not to use it. But at this point, I think I'm going to use it. And you're going to hear my voice in real time in a moment. So while you're waiting for my in real time comments, please give this video a thumbs up and make any suggestions that you might have for how to improve this page, or how you tackle Christmas pages. Thanks a lot, you guys. Well, my video cut out because my phone got full. So I'm just going to show you what I did. I think when it left off, I had made that, and I was matting these. I did double matte these two small photos, and I played around quite a bit with trying to position all of these things together. So I made, I had cut some bows, so I just did some strips to turn this into another gift and this one into a gift down here. I ended up not using this, partly because I just didn't feel I needed it. It seemed redundant. So I'm just taking that as the title. Let's see what else. I tried to overlap things so nothing is exactly lined up. Everything's just slightly over. And then I added some of the adhesive. And I think I had a couple other things that I was thinking about adding. I could add this Santa on here. I don't mind this Santa at all. So, even though it's not a page about Santa, I don't think he would be a bad addition. He might be good right there, actually. I need to pop him up, and he's not very sticky. Let me find something that's kind of flat-ish. Like low profile adhesive, maybe. Just gonna use this and a little bit on the side. So I'm gonna put him, or does that extend it out too much? That might be better. He's not very sticky. Let me add. Yeah, I kind of like that better. A little blob of glue there. Okay. And let's see, anything else off here? I liked these black. I might want to add the small black ones. But I was kind of sticking to the green and the red. And I just used 3 of those, so I'm okay with that. All right, we're going to leave that. Let's see what else. So I have a shaker box, and I have some of the same elements here, sort of going down the page and just keeping it pretty simple. So let's do some close-ups.